Good day, everyone. Welcome to Breakout Wednesday for Thursday, the 4th of April 2024. It's currently about midday on the West Coast, 3 p.m. on the East Coast. First of all, remember, this is never financial advice. We're not financial advice. This is simply a video blog on how one trader sees the market, and everyone needs to take responsibility for their own decisions. All right, I'm a day late, obviously. Yesterday got away from me, and I have workers over reno in my house at the moment, so there's going to be a bit of background noise. Nothing I can do about it. Here's a chart of the All Ords, still in uptrend. Had a bit of a down day yesterday, but didn't continue that downside today. I'm gonna do a scan, but I'm gonna quickly just rattle through some stuff I've been talking about lately. First of all, the stuff that is still working is, energy and gold are probably the hottest things right now. Okay, I was talking about the fuel ETF 2 weeks ago. That was setting up here. I'm just going to get rid of this stuff, in this big base, and it's kind of broken out of this huge base now, or nearly has. I think it has. But a lot of these companies, I've been talking about Occidental Petroleum a lot. Now there's a weekly chart. It's broken out of its big base, but I think I was talking about it back here somewhere, and it's had a huge run. And a lot of energy stocks are setting up if you're doing your homework properly and doing your scans. A lot of gold stocks likewise, which I've got some scans today that found some gold stocks, and I'll talk about that in a sec. Some other trades just quickly that I'll talk about. GDC, I'm still in it and I have not trimmed one share in that. We'll see how it plays out. But trying to be really patient with it. I took a loss on NXL. It was a pretty short, sharp loss on it. Just faking out, thought it was going to go well, and bang, it broke back in this base, and I didn't wait till here, but I was getting out kind of, where was it? I think it was 208, I think I got out, so not the best exit in the world, to be honest. So a bit of a small loss in NXL. That's life. Now, I also am just in this one, and CWY. This is a grinding stock. I've been in and out of this a lot and over the years. I do think probably the best way to trade this stock is to buy dips, because it does tend to be a pretty safe way to trade it. But I was persuaded by this base, by the confluence of resistances here, and by the VCP. I have a wide stop on it, and I'm going to give it a real chance to work its way out of that base and get on with it. Okay, so need to be patient, a bit like trading the insurance stocks. CWY takes the same sort of patience as they do. And the other just area that I just think a lot of people are ignoring, because it's maybe not the latest fad and all that shit, is the food stocks. Okay, I was talking about food 3 weeks ago when this is a weekly chart, and I was thinking it was maybe going to make a new high on a weekly chart. It's done that. Now it's breaking out of this big long-term channel. This is an ETF, but if you're doing your homework on a lot of these individual food stocks, they are all a lot of them are shaping up and trending up. So that's that. Now I want to do a scan and then talk about some other stocks. Just punch it out. This is new scanner that ProTrader has, and it looks for inside bars. Okay. Today I'm going to do a scan for more than 2 inside bars on a weekly chart, and what I'm going to do to save everyone time and hassle is I've already done it, and I'm just going to show the results. One sec. Okay, there we go. And I'm just going to get rid of that. Okay, so there's the scan. All right, let's just do it. I'm just going to scan my watch list. So now, a lot of these are setting up. One of them left the station today, unfortunately, but shit happens. ARB. Okay, ARB is a pretty good company for those that know it. It was a darling, of the market during COVID. Obviously corrected like a lot of the, big strong COVID stocks did. Then it put in this huge base, which I've talked about before. Okay, here broke out of it, trending upwards. Okay, it's had a big move. This is a daily chart, but if you look at a weekly chart, it's put in, this is its first candle, and then all these candles fall inside this candle. So it's got more than 2 inside bars there on a weekly chart, and it's put in a really tight high base, which is some of the best setups. Okay, so ARB is on the watch list. The next one is CEL. Okay, I've got this is not, I didn't scan for intraday data here, so CEL. Now CEL is a little oil and energy stock on the ASX. Okay, if you look here, this is its first candle, then all these candles fell within that candle, so it's got more than 2 inside candles on a weekly chart. Unfortunately today this one broke out, all right, bang, all right. And so this inside, I've wanted this scan for years and years, right? Because one of my a trading strategy I just will die by is these tight ranges, inside bars on weekly, monthly, daily charts. They just give the best, in my opinion, some of the best risk reward setups you're ever going to find. So CEL's just a great example. I wish I brought this bloody talk out yesterday like I was planning, but I didn't. That's life, right? CEL's done. Coles, there's been a lot of negativity around Coles and Woolies, and for good reason, right? There's some, I'm not going to get into it, but often during times of incredible bad news in the media, it's when things are setting up. I'm not saying Coles is, but I'm saying that definitely at the moment we've had a move up and now we're putting in a tight base. If this can base for long enough in this range, this is a daily chart here, this is a weekly chart here, see how it's had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, this is its 5th week of base in a tight range, all inside bars. If this can base for long enough, I probably need 8 good weeks of tight action on something like Coles. It's pretty boring stock, right? But but it can still move. And so that's come up and that's on the watch list. GMD, I don't know if I talked about before, but it's this little gold stock. It's on the ASX, and on a weekly chart it's just come up in this inside bar scan of weekly data, because it's had this big candle here and now we've had 4 weeks inside this candle, okay? And so that's setting up there. It's got pretty much blue sky above it. I'm just waiting for that to base long enough and the order goes in. It's nearly there for me, that one. Just need a little bit longer on it. Let's move on. HLO, okay, decent fundamentals on this guy, okay, and I don't know if for those who like to read, Sydney Airport's put out some pretty bullish. I know they're not listed anymore; they're private, but they had some pretty big profits that came out this week, and a lot of the tourism stocks are doing well. There's a lot of tourism activity, and everyone wanting to holiday and blah blah blah. But I definitely think that these big bases on travel stocks, and this is one of my favorite travel companies. So HLO is setting up there in a pretty tight base. Let's move on. Now here's a tiny little tiddler on the ASX, and let's have a look. Today it's only done like 8 grand worth, so pretty illiquid, isn't it? And it's a new stock too. It only listed back here. It came up on my scan because if we have a look here, this is on weekly data. We've had this candle here, and all these candles fell inside this candle. So we've had this 4 weeks now of inside bar action, and that is a pretty tight base forming on a new IPO. And I'm not going to it's going to be hard to get a fill on it, but the risk reward on these little things can be pretty damn good. If you can get filled here with a stop here, and you can realistically have a crack at 2 to 1, 3 to 1, 4 to 1 sort of thing, okay? And so that's another setup that's this stock's found, that scan has found. MKG is just another little tiddler. I don't really trade these penny stocks as much as I used to, but if you have a look at here, we have a weekly bullish candle here, and then 4 weeks now inside this candle, which is just another high type base. Didn't mean to do that. Let's go back here, and so that resistance line obviously is here, okay. Very illiquid, so I'm going to leave that one alone, but it's another pretty good setup on the inside bar scanner. STX, Strike Energy, okay. As I was already talking about, energy stocks are pretty strong around the world right now. STX, this is a daily chart of STX. You can see how it's come down and now it's forming this tight little base, but it came up because on weekly data it had this 1 candle here and 3 candles within inside that. So we've got 3 inside candles here within this first candle. So that is a pretty nice tight setup. Now that is really it. I could go and scan NASDAQ and NYSE stocks and show you guys dozens and dozens of other awesome inside bar setups, okay. All I did was do one scan on it, okay, looking for more than 2 inside bars and weekly data, but I could scan from many more inside bars and find longer bases and blah blah blah. Okay, but it's just a great scan. It really is. I'm doing it every day now, and I wanted to then quickly talk about a couple other stocks. Right, this is INSW on the New York Stock Exchange. Okay, it's an energy play. Now I had been watching this in the Dava scan, then it came up in with an inside bar on daily data. See, this bar here is inside this bar. It's amazing how often right before a breakout you'll get inside bars, and so inside bars are really helpful when used in conjunction with other bases, okay, and other trends. And it's used in, what I'm getting at is that when you use an inside bar in the right position with inside of the overall trend, whether it's counter trend or continuation trend, it needs to make sense, that inside bar, right? And you put in more than one factor together, i.e. a high chance to reversal or high chance of a continuation, the inside bars can be a lot more powerful than just a random old inside bar that you find somewhere else, okay? So INSW is a setup that I've taken. Unfortunately, I think this one, unfortunately Hippo, my next one, went batshit nuts last night, but I was going to talk about this yesterday. Hippo came up in Dava scans. Also, if you look here, there's inside bars out the yin yang, right? So this is one candle here, and all these are inside bars within it. But then it also came up here because this is one candle and this is an inside bar here, and then bang, okay? Just this was scan was coming up for those doing their homework in their scans, and very high probability setup, okay? But that one's already left. Then lastly, there are, when I was doing my Dava scans, there are a plethora, like countless high type bases like PSN around. Okay, I'm just going to show two here, but there's PSN, which is setting up. There's literally dozens, and it's really hard to know which ones to take because we're in an uptrending market, and therefore obviously these stocks and setups just are plentiful. PSN is one. It's just in an uptrend. It's got blue sky above it, and it's basing. For me, all I need to really is it to base. Has it based long enough? Then is it in a good sector? And do I have all the odds behind me? And if I increase my probability enough, okay. The other one that I found that had come up is MLM on New York Stock Exchange, another high type base. There's so many of these around, guys. I can't go through them all, but it's crazy how many are and how many trading opportunities there are right now, especially when you're trading numerous markets. Okay. Anyway, I hope everyone's enjoying the new scanner, and we've got more functions. Relative strength. I'm not talking about this shit, RSI. I'm talking about a relative strength index. Good old William O'Neill RS relative strength, comparing one stock to the overall market, and rating it. So it's called relative strength rating or relative strength. I think it's got a few names. I think mainly it's called relative strength rating, but or just relative strength RS. Okay, that is our next thing that we are bringing out, and it's going to be fine tuned for kind of for the pro trader system. More about that later. Hope everyone's well. Take care. Cheers, mate.